Hey, everybody, welcome back to QOTD, the question of the day show. This is the game show that lets you be on the air. You can join us on the air by recording your own video answers to our awesome daily questions. Well, here we are with a new week. Like, we had so many exciting answers. You guys have voted for things that I wouldn't have even conceived of. We had all these questions. As people put up answers, you voted, and your favorites, the ones that you chose, are now going to go in a big competition to decide which is the best of the very best. Hey, JJ, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, excited to get into it.
Yeah, welcome back. And Phoebe. Phoebe, we've enjoyed you so much as a contestant. It's really great to have you as a host.
Yeah, it's been fun being here.
Yeah, which is more fun? Is it more fun just answering questions, or is it more fun like making snarky comments about people's questions?
Oof. There's pros and cons to both. Well, not cons. There's pros to both. The con of being on here is that I don't get to play as a contestant, I guess. But it is fun to do both. Yeah.
Well, before we jump in, I do want to tell everybody who's listening is that we have made a change to the way that the game is played, and you can continue to play by clicking the links and coming to the website, but you can also vote right in the chat just by typing vote space and then the number of the person that you want to vote for, like vote space 3 if it's the third contestant. You'll see it. We'll explain it as it goes along. Before we get into the mechanics, JJ, like, what's this week all about?
Yes, so this week was all about truth is stranger than fiction. We all know that famous phrase, but this week it definitely applies in spades. For specific questions, we had, what is the most embarrassing job you've ever had? What out-of-the-box theories do you believe in? What skills, hobbies, or wisdom did you pick up in quarantine? If you could party for a weekend in any decade, what year is it and where are you? What 3 meals would you eat for the rest of your life? What celebrity is on your zombie apocalypse survivor squad? And finally, how did you come up with your pet's name?
So when you're saying it's stranger than fiction, you mean that we are stranger than fiction? Because those are all very reflective kind of questions, I think.
Exactly. Our experiences, sometimes they rival even the most fantastical of stories.
I find that sort of inspiring. We can get really weird today.
Yes. Well, I think without further ado, let's say we go to the first question. Let's do it. So first question is, speaking of which, what is your pet's name and how did you come up with it?
Now, this is a really good one. I don't know if you guys have ever adopted a pet from like a shelter or a foster home, but a lot of the time they will come up with a name on their own. Like they'll name like a kitten litter after something. So for me, this makes me think of my 2 adorable and perfect cats that my fiance and I adopted last year. And when we went to the foster home to get them, the foster lady, named each of the litters that she takes in after different TV shows. So this litter that we took from was the Sex and the City litter. So we ended up taking home Samantha and Carrie, and there was a big joke about it from the foster lady's Facebook page. She was like, you reunited Samantha and Carrie, like whoever thought it could ever be done, because the 2 actors had a falling out. We actually ended up renaming them to Avatar: The Last Airbender characters. So they are May and Kaya now, because it's our favorite show.
I think that's really good because if you have Sex and the City cats, you're never going to be able to keep them as indoor cats.
Oh, yeah, no. They're going to be out with their Cosmos until all hours of the night. And, they're indoor girlies, so it wasn't really their lifestyle.
Fair enough, fair enough. A name that suits them then.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it looks like we have some of our favorite answers from the week coming in. So let's see what people have said throughout this whole week.
So I actually have a pet rabbit. He's a black rabbit. He's awesome. He's litter box trained. It's actually super easy to do that. Anyone that wants a rabbit, literally you can train him in a litter box. My rabbit is called Frank. And he is from Donnie Darko, from the movie Donnie Darko, Frank the Rabbit. And maybe he's evil, maybe not. You decide.
Very creepy movie, a very unconventional source of origin.
What is your pet's names and And how did you come up with it? It's them actually. So I've got Benji Bubble Blossom. Benji Bubble Blossom. Well, yeah, because he's a lovely rescue dog, and I wanted to make him feel, you know, bright and alive and happy. And I've got Minnie Mooch Bubble Blossom. She's a little Pekingese. And then I've got Jemima Buttercup. That's a little pussycat. And Kit Kat Buttercup also, another little
Incredible. I love those.
One of my pet's names is Banjo. He is an orange cat with no tail. I came up with it because I've always been a fan of the Banjo and Kazooie franchise, and maybe one day we'll get a real third installment. I have actually named all of my orange cats after characters from Banjo and Kazooie, but this time it felt like the time was nigh to name a cat Banjo, and that's how he got his name.
I remember last time there weren't any Banjo and Kazooie fans in the audience, so.
Her name is Dr. Callie Torres, and got her name from Grey's Anatomy, named after Dr. Calliope Torres, MD, main dog.
And we do appreciate you showing the pet in the video, of course.
I have an adorable 11-pound Yorkie that I named Cooper because I was convinced my next car would be a Mini Cooper, and now I drive a Jeep, so he's the only Mini Cooper I have.
Hey, I think that's still pretty good, though. A good consolidate.
I had a cat named Peter, and this is how he got his name. In college, these two girls came and knocked on the door, and they were like, "Hey, is Peter home?" And I'm like, "Peter doesn't live here." They kept insisting that Peter lived there. That was the address that Peter gave them. Peter went and lied to them, whatever else. It was like this fiasco, but obviously Peter didn't live there. Well, that week, my cat had kittens, and I had to name one of them Peter because obviously Peter lived there. Peter wouldn't lie to them. That's the address he gave them.
That's so funny.
That's hilarious. As you should. Peter's iconic. Well, it looks like the time is now to get started with the voting. So, everyone go into the chat now and type its vote space either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, depending on whose answer you absolutely loved. Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Yeah. So many interesting names this time. No fluffies. No, I don't know, Fido. What's the normal dog name?
Exactly. Yeah. No. These answers are very adventurous. I love all these stories.
Yeah. Oh, and we got the winner in already.
Oh, wonder who's gonna be.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yes, that's actually a really funny story and honestly a really cool origin story. And I think that pets that have human names are super funny. So, congratulations, London, pet owner of Peter. You're going to the Big Show, so we'll see you in a little bit.
Yes, you are. Big congratulations. And yes, that is important. All the winners for the individual questions will eventually come together in our final round Big Show, or final round winners round. And the winner of that round will be the winner of the entire week. So
yes,
it's a
so definitely
big competition.
Stay around till the end so you can vote on our Big Show winner.
Exactly. Well, congratulations again, London. Let's go on to the next question of the week. I'm excited to see what it is. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. If you could party for a weekend in any decade, what decade are you going to? And just as importantly, where are you going?
This is a really interesting one. I feel like my generation, maybe, or maybe it's just popular media that's come out recently, is really into the 80s. And I know there are probably people here who did live through the 80s. Maybe Keith can talk about it, but I just remember I thought there was this one episode of Black Mirror where they're like in some seaside like 80s town. It's like a time travel type thing. You know what I'm talking about, JJ? I see you nodding. And there's just so much color, and obviously the music is incredible. And you never really want to live in a Black Mirror universe, but it does make me feel like the 80s must have been a really cool time to party.
completely agree. Yeah, no, I think definitely with the shows like Stranger Things coming out. I'm still, and also like it's reflecting in like my lifestyle, like my wardrobe. I think it would be very fun to be in the 80s.
Maybe Keith disagrees.
I mean, there was some good music. I'll give it that. And you could go to bars at 18. I guess so. That was pretty good too.
That's true.
You know what? It was great. I loved it. But it wasn't, for me, it was like, it was the thing. Like people went through the 60s, you're like, yeah, I was changing diapers or something like that in the 60s. I look back on the 60s and just think it was like the most amazing time. I wish I was, of partying age then. And so maybe you always look back. You guys are looking back,
You look back to when your parents were young, maybe.
Yeah, wondering those mysterious things. What were your parents up to in high school?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, but the clothes were terrible. But I don't.
No, the clothes looked cool. They looked awesome.
Parachute pants. Come on.
I want to wear like a jacket with giant shoulder pads, like a football player.
No doubt.
But
I
at
have
the
one
club.
in my closet. Let's talk.
Let's do a clothing swap.
Well, we got some answers from across the week, so let's see if anyone else agrees that the 80s were where it's at, or when it's at.
I would be going straight to the 60s, Woodstock, and just the whole hippie scene. Seems like a whole lot of fun. So I would love to hang out with those folks.
Shocked.
Someone for Team Keith.
If I had to pick a decade, it would be the 80s because, everything was colorful, it was fun. You had your tube socks with the different colors, fishnets, I love fishnets. Everything about it was awesome.
Angel makes a strong case.
Yeah.
Very strong case.
Right, so I would have to say the decade I would be in from 75 to 85, right in there. Now, I was born in 83, but when Earth, Wind, and Fire was really big and the sound for Let's Groove Tonight, I would have to be at one of their concerts jamming out and having a good time because, yes, that's...
I'm calling that 70s.
Mid 70s to mid 80s, you're calling that 70s?
Oh,
okay.
Given the opportunity to spend a weekend partying in another decade, I would choose the 90s. I was born and raised in the 90s, and I think it would be super cool to go back to that era and just see what life was like as an adult.
I think that's what we're talking about. You want to go back to when your parents were.
If I could spend a weekend partying in another decade, it would have to be in 1969 at the Woodstock Festival, which was in New York. There were so many different artists, and that festival became legendary. I think it'd be a lot of...
Summer 68. Summer love.
If I could spend a weekend partying in another decade, it would certainly be the 90s. And where? Probably LA. Probably the LA music scene in the 90s. A lot of the alternative rock and rap that came out of that time is some of my favorite music.
Interesting.
70s were good in LA too. Actually, I'll come. Well, let us vote now, guys. You can vote by just typing in V space and one of the numbers corresponding to the person on the screen that you agree with. Angel, she was all about the 80s, and Jesse, he was like the 60s. Andre, I'm going to call him 70s. And Spencer was talking 90s. So you got some good selections in there. Yeah, I'm going to vote too. I'm going to vote for
Yeah, no, I don't think you really can really go wrong.
I'm voting
I think
for
it's
Angel.
sort of really affirming what we were talking about, though, is almost everyone said like 60s, 70s, 80s, all the decades that I think their parents might have been like partying age in.
1990s, right? Oh, that's right. That wasn't a very fun time.
Looks like I got a winner coming in.
Oh,
Ooh,
all right. So I guess the 90s win this one, and specifically 90s in Los Angeles, which may be
A little bit of time in 90s in Los
Yeah.
Angeles, partying at the Hotel Marquee with some of the local celebs.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of doing like the 80s. I was doing a punk rock thing because I had transformed from the 70s hippie thing.
I see.
Jesse would have gotten along. But yeah, no. So this good music. A lot of clubs have closed down, but it used to be a very exciting music scene.
Well, congratulations, Spencer, with your answer, 90s in Los Angeles. You have just won a ticket to the final round. So if you are participating as a voter, please stick around to the end so we can get our Big Show big winner.
Yes, hopefully Spencer's inspired some of you to bring back the 90s. Got it. But we move on to our next question of the day, which is, this is a good one. Okay, what skills, hobbies, or wisdom did you pick up in quarantine? So this was, back in 2020 when we were all sort of stuck in our homes. I'm sure that a lot of people got up to various activities. For me, I really think I made major steps in my fashion journey. Before quarantine, I think I didn't really know what I wanted my style to be. And I didn't have like the right clothing items to carry it out. But after quarantine, I became a style icon. I've really stepped up my game.
That's cool. I feel like that's probably for a lot of people. I think that like the time that we spent indoors was a big time for like self-reflection and exploration and figuring out like, who am I? I think my fiance also stepped up his style game in quarantine too. So it was like a lot of time to kind of like figure out who you want to be,
And yeah, just like Very Mads, I finished off Netflix. I'm very proud of that.
Every show, every movie, every episode of Black Mirror on the entire platform.
Keep up with me.
Done. I'm gonna need all your reviews after the show. But in the meantime, we got some answers from across the week from people giving their own answers. So let's see what skills, hobbies, or wisdom they got.
During quarantine, I followed my instincts more, meaning that for me, it was time to trust myself, trust in what I believed in, so that I could shut down the chaos that was going all around us around that time. And especially during quarantine, I did not stop working. I still went to work. I still drove to work. Therefore, it was easier for me to center myself, to meditate more, and to really shut down what was going on around so I could keep my sanity, really. So I don't know if it's a skill, it's not a hobby, perhaps a wisdom. So definitely follow my instincts, meditate more, trust myself, and really gain confidence in myself.
She was like a healthcare worker or a frontline person, but
I'd say stuff like Discord. I didn't ever use Discord before, to video chat or, have like a place to even just text chat with a bunch of people in a group. So, but now I use it all the time now, even as quarantine is starting to wind down, I still use it. And we, now that I live in some different state other than my friends, it's okay to be with, friends online instead of just in person. So that's what I learned.
Nice. Yeah, I know that Discord, FaceTime, those all got big in the pandemic.
Well, during quarantine, we got this one. This is Emma. She was adopted from South Korea. They found her at a meat farm. She was going to be somebody's meal. Probably learning how to care for a dog, taking some courses. I'm still taking courses. And feeding her and then, loving her the right way.
He's the bunny guy too, right?
I don't think so.
The real James?
I don't know.
I think so.
I wish I had a better answer for this. I think I was just too stunned during quarantine to know what to do. But I would have to say TikTok. I'm not great at it, but that's when I started posting more and just learning how social media algorithms work.
We're doing TikTok dances, if you didn't see.
Oh, those are big.
Over quarantine, I learned how to crochet, I learned how to knit, and I also started doing more paintings. So yeah, those are some things I picked up. Oh, I also bought a sewing machine to start sewing, but I haven't quite picked that up as yet. But I have been crocheting and I have been making some cool items with it.
Crocheting's like knitting for the impatient, right? It's quicker.
Yeah, it's quicker.
During quarantine was starting electric skateboarding. I don't need to drive everywhere, so if I can have some fun, feel the breeze, and save some gas on the way, that's good for me.
That's so fun.
Could you just pedal your little foot? Anyways, I don't know. It's time to vote, guys. As before, V space or vote space, and then the number corresponding to one of these people, right? What did you pick up? Or who did you find like entertaining or inspiring? We got some pop shots there. Those are always good. Electric skateboard. There was a lot of art and music and, just kind of learning how to be centered and become a little bit more self-aware. I think that was one of the themes I heard a lot of, spending a lot of time alone. I know I became so self-aware that I imploded, and here we are.
Yeah. No, a lot of really good answers. A lot of people who were very productive. I'm very impressed.
Oh. It's something about those cute pets.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you show your pet on the screen, it's never going to hurt your chances of winning. So congratulations to the real James with his adorable dog that he rescued during quarantine. Your great story is going to make it to the final round.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about, or a lot of people who got COVID dogs. I think my family was one of them, so I'm glad that all of these dogs have a home.
Yeah.
Well, we will keep the train moving on to the next question of the week, which is, ooh, this is good. So what out-of-the-box theories do you believe in? Aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts? Oh my.
Yes, right?
What?
Yes, and yes, right?
Yes, maybe yes to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'm also a very much a yes kind of person. I think my theory that I love to talk about is the many worlds theory, which is basically, we're getting into physics here, everyone.
Or Spider-Man, yes, go on.
So basically it's a theory that every day we're faced with decisions. Every day there's forks in the road that happen. And whenever you choose a certain thing or something happens, a whole other universe is created where you chose the other option or the other thing happened. And so there's like infinite universes out there just with one small difference to it.
Making the space-time manifold with my hands.
I see.
But yes, a universe of infinite potentialities.
Yeah, I appreciate the visual element.
I don't want to cast aspersions or anything, but obviously they're not doing drug testing at your employment. No, I was a metaphysics major actually in college, and so we spent a lot of time thinking about time travel, space-time manifolds, and it's all.
Well, I recently watched the Netflix show Bodies, which Keith, we've talked about it, and it's cool, but it like messes my brain up. All the different time travel like loops and paths it's a lot.
Does all this stuff connect? You know what? We're gonna let the people go, but I wonder how these things are connected. Like, are ghosts really aliens? And it's because of these infinite universes that sometimes we can punch through the space-time manifold and kind of see what's happening in another universe. And I don't know. Maybe it's all happening. Maybe your dog is your cats. Sorry, Phoebe. Maybe your cats and your dogs are like aware of these multiverses.
Well, my cats can see ghosts, no question. When they like just laser at like the air, I'm like, okay, so ghost right there, got it. So
exactly, yeah, no, I definitely agree that it's all connected somehow. We'll figure it out. But I think we have some answers from fans from throughout the week. I've heard some of these answers and they are outstanding. So please stay tuned and enjoy.
I personally believe in ghosts. I think they are real. You can call them ghosts, energies, or spirits or whatever, but I think they do exist. They are among us, and that there are good ones and bad ones. The good ones are like good energy, bad ones bad energy. I feel like they're like beings of a different dimension, if I can say so.
Yes. I'm not sure what you mean, but yes. Emphatically,
It's
yes.
weird. I think that aliens and ghosts are real. So I do believe in different dimensions, but I also believe in higher intelligent beings which exist outside of our universe. So it's weird. I don't necessarily know if there is life and existence outside of our universe, or if also there's like a second dimension of life, and that's ghosts. So ghosts and aliens, I feel like they both coincide.
Right on the money. Devin agrees with us. It's all
Aliens are real. The Area 51 raid was done because people believed that aliens were being held up by the military, right? Which I think that's true. Come on, like, why is it so heavily guarded? And we live in the Milky Way galaxy, and there's other galaxies that are billions of light years away that have their own secrets. There could be aliens over there in the other galaxies. Maybe they've disguised in our galaxy as people or animals. You don't know. Aliens, we don't know much about aliens. All we know is that we want to know if they're there, right?
Truth was always in the dino hunters.
Yeah.
Look, space and time are connected, right? Scientists, astrophysicists, all of them, they tell us this is true. Space-time, it's a connected thing, and you can't really separate them within the universe, right? Which means that if space is a different size, time is at a different scale, which means that at the Big Bang, which supposedly inflated much of the universe in less than a second, in an instant, if space was that small, that means time was either a lot smaller or a lot bigger. I'm not sure which. Maybe it took a really, really long time based on how time was stretched then, or maybe it was even faster than no time at all.
There's no
Dig
supposedly about this, Jay Gish. That is true fact.
That what?
Really,
About 3 or 4 years ago, I had a really weird, superstitious, scary encounter at night at my summer camp that I go down to like almost every year. Now, there was a really big flying saucer looking like object above the field, and it lit the whole place like it was sunlight. And I couldn't believe it. Like, that was when I was convinced that, oh, okay, we're not alone. I'm sure aliens exist. I don't know about Bigfoot and ghosts.
Just casually admitting that he's had an encounter with aliens.
By the way.
Oh, ghosts.
We're having. Yes, we're having an encounter right now.
Whoa. And yeah, no, literally, we just had a big evidence that ghosts exist. They're right here playing QOTD.
So, who is it that you think deserves to go to the finals for this question? Who inspired you? Who do you totally agree with? Who made you laugh? Thank you, Beth. Just go ahead and vote by giving us one of these. Like that. I'm voting for Jay Gish. Jay Gish, you and I are on the same page, man. But that's 100% true. We can prove it. I'll do that, on my own podcast. 365 Days of Oatmeal. I'll explain the whole speed of light proving, multiple universes.
With oatmeal.
Well, yeah, it's important to have a prop when you're explaining complex science projects.
Exactly.
Oh, all right. This was the space-time stretch one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Concepts that if I sit and think about them for too long, I think I might lose it. But for people who can handle it, these are some fascinating topics.
This is the big mistake that I made during lockdown. I thought about this all the time, and I just came out the other end just a little odd.
Right. You came out of lockdown odd. Well, congratulations, Jay Gish. Your super thought-provoking answer has got you a ticket to the final round. So we'll see you there after just a few more question of the day prompts.
Yes, we will. And now let's move on. I don't remember what number we're on, but yet another question. I think we just have a few more until the winner's round. So, this is an interesting one. Okay, so picture this. You can only have 3 meals for the rest of your life, every day for the rest of your life. what are you having for breakfast? What are you having for lunch? And what are you having for dinner? That's BL and D.
So lunch is going to be the same thing till the end of time. Like,
Right.
and
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's not like you say sandwich, you can have a different sandwich. It's going to be like that same turkey sub every single day until you die. I think that I got to go like casseroles, because at least like internally they have a lot of diversity. And so I might go, well, obviously oatmeal, nuts, raisins, some nice fruit in it, right? To make that my morning casserole. And then for lunch, mac and cheese with, some ham in it. That's the thing.
Mm.
And then for dinner, lasagna.
Perfect.
I want diversity in each forkful if I can't have diversity, from day to day. So that's me.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That's sort of like the alignment with like having a salad with like all the same ingredients, granted, but if you can pack it with like greens, you can do chicken, you can have a fun dressing, then it's like when
Each
every
bite's
bite is a
different.
flavor.
So right, you know what, JJ? I want to withdraw my lasagna, and I'm going to go with like a good Waldorf salad or something like that for dinner. So Waldorf salad, mac and
Very
cheese with
healthy
ham,
choice.
oatmeal. Yeah,
Mm.
you got to have your greens.
No, you do. And we don't get enough greens with normal people. I know I don't.
And my wife's against vegetables.
Yeah. I'm against them on principle, but for health reasons, I do my best.
All right.
Yeah. I was going to say, it would be very hard to be staunchly protesting vegetables for too long. Well, I think I've seen some of these answers. They're very good. So I'm very excited for you all to see our fans' 3 meals.
If I had to eat the same 3 meals for the rest of my life, it would be peanut butter and toast, sinigang shrimp, which is a Filipino dish, and rice.
Rice is a good one.
Yeah.
A staple food.
If I can only eat the same meals for the rest of my life, I would have eggs Benedict for breakfast. I would have a pizza for lunch, and dinner I would probably have...
Never know.
If I could only have 3 meals, I think I would choose cereal, and I hope that means any type of cereal because I love almost all of them. BLTs, the perfect lunch food. And lastly, I think I would have to go burgers for dinner. Those would be my...
Yeah, I had forgotten the burger. The burger is a good call.
Mm.
Very important food group, burgers.
Okay, so breakfast would be chicken waffles because it's so versatile. Lunch would probably be something healthier, like a salad with chicken in it, but it had to be like orange chicken or something fancy. And then for dinner, easy, wings and fries.
She loves chicken. And I love that.
So the first one for breakfast, it would be chicken and waffles. Yes, I like chicken and waffles. Second, lunch would be Taco Bell's Grande Nacho, like the extra large nacho. And then a sushi boat for dinner. All day, every day. Sushi, let's go.
Sushi is
He's like ready to go in.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I love food. My 3 favorite meals that I would choose if I had to eat the same 3 meals every day for the rest of my life would be pizza, mac and cheese, and chicken.
Pretty good.
And everything's
I like it.
orange.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you
very
notice that
orange,
everything's
very
orange? All right, folks, it is time to vote. You can vote right there in the chat, or if you're using the website, there's a link. Is there a link? QOTD.BeOnTheAir.com, where you can also vote, you can send stars, you can record, or, Eggs Benedict, that is a good call.
I think a chicken and waffles is smart because one day, if you're just not feeling the waffles, you could just leave it on your plate and just have chicken. Vice versa, if you just want waffles. Yeah.
That is the hack.
Genius.
Could you get smorgasbord every day? Isn't that like the logical extension of what you're suggesting there?
Smorgasbord? Oh,
Yes,
just
like a
ask for
Swedish
everything?
Smorgasbord, yeah. And so you just like walk down like the salad aisle. Hamburgers. There's nothing wrong with a hamburger.
No. Well, a burger is like,
Not a
it's
good
sort of
one.
like a casserole. You can just like, I've seen burgers with the most wild combinations on top, so.
So you're saying that you got to request a wild burger and then just every day take off whatever you don't want.
Right. So let's say you get like, if following this thought, hamburger, pineapple, fried egg,
Ew.
lettuce, onions, tomatoes, and then I can just go in like, I'm not feeling the egg today.
Do people have pineapple on burgers?
Oh
ever?
yes.
Really?
Oh yes. Much better than pineapple on a pizza.
Sounds like a crazy West Coast thing that you're
Have you
trying
ever had
to.
an egg on a burger?
I haven't, but I know
Yum.
it's a thing.
Oh yeah. Come by.
We'll
by.
see.
But like, and you got to char the pineapple.
I don't know. But anyway, Spencer, you won. Congratulations on your fantastic answer. And we will see you for the final round when you go against all the other finalists.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. So I think that leaves us with, I believe, 2 more questions until we have that winners round. So, second to last one. Oh, this is good. What's the most embarrassing job you've ever had?
So I have had, if I can speak for myself, I've had like hundreds of jobs. I've just been that guy. I've done construction. I've worked in kitchens. I've like driven a truck. I've, arranged flowers. I've done like everything. And I got to say that the ones that you'd think would be embarrassing, like I was, a flower arranging guy for a while, are the ones that I loved the best. Like sitting around and programming video games, less fun, and I learned less than the ones where, you're out there knocking on doors, for instance, selling Christmas cards. Do you believe I did that? Knocking on doors and selling Christmas cards, and it was like, you meet a lot of people, you learn a lot about yourself. So it's the embarrassing jobs, that really challenge you. Maybe that's why we call them embarrassing. They're not really embarrassing. They're just uncomfortable. You have to go and embrace and I should say seek out uncomfortable situations. Like driving a forklift. I did that until.
A man who was worn many hats. Yeah, but that's very true.
No one was hurt.
Well, I think we got some embarrassing jobs coming in from fans. But with that, we have some fans. We have some jobs from fans that they learned about themselves through. Got it.
Yes.
So let's see what the fans had to say on this incredible question.
So I wouldn't say it was the job itself that was incredibly embarrassing, but I was just very not good at one part of it. I was a photographer and had to do studio sessions with kids, and I'm not good with kids, and so more often than not, they ended up crying.
So what did we learn, Amanda? No kids.
No kids.
No kids, no dogs.
The most embarrassing job I had was running the changing rooms in Macy's Herald Square. It was just chaotic, and the demands I got from people was pretty ridiculous.
Sounds terrifying.
Suck.
Scary or embarrassing, I'm not really sure, but I once lived in Paris and I got a job dressing us up as Uncle Sam and standing in the American Express and answering questions about the United States to French people who were curious in French. Well, that was scary.
Can you imagine what they're asking?
That's so funny.
Why do you call them French fries? I don't know.
Super lucky that I've never worked an embarrassing job, but I used to work as a busser in a Mexican restaurant in high school, and we had these disgusting tubs full of water that we put all the salsa bowls in before they got cleaned, and it was literally just bowl, water, salsa.
I think that we learned a lesson there too. Don't eat
Hands down, the most embarrassing job I ever had was as a birthday hostess at like a little kids play area that was attached to an ice rink. And inherently that is not embarrassing, but when the parents requested that the polar bear mascot make an appearance, that was...
Anything in a costume is gotta be like highly embarrassing.
The most embarrassing job that I've ever had is just picking up trash along the highway. And yes, it was a job,
no, I wasn't in trouble.
I was about to be like, how many hours of community service did you get mandated?
All right, everybody, listen, it's time to vote. Which of these did you think was sort of funny or that you resonated to? Or maybe, you know, I don't know, like Alexis, you learned a little bit about yourself, or Amanda. Pear, I want to hear more. I want to hear details of this Uncle Sam story.
I know, that sounds like such an out there job.
It should be like a follow-up round. Like if you get into the finals, we get to ask you another question.
I love that. Well, I mean, for me, it's like, from what I understand about the French, what's worse is they are going to nitpick the heck out of your French. And so it's worse being like in social situations. It's horrible having to do it with French people.
All right. Picking up trash on the highway.
Yeah, there's a story. Nobody just decides, hey, I think I'm going to go make $6 an hour picking up trash.
Oh, you could be super passionate about the environment.
True. She could be. She could
have like, I got just the job for you.
Yeah. Well, either way, Maddie, you have won this round, and we will see you very soon. I think it actually might be up next, JJ, for our final round. So we'll see you soon against all of our other winners.
Yes. So actually, before we have the winners round, we do have one more question. Just one more. And it's a very, very exciting one. Very entertaining. What celebrity would you want on your zombie apocalypse survivor squad? It's the zombie apocalypse. You gotta choose one person. I think for me, I've been thinking about this. I think a lot of people said The Rock, which makes a lot of sense. I might go for Nick Offerman because he plays, first of all, he was in The Last of Us and he was the character who knew everything. But like even in Parks and Recreation, he was playing like a very level-headed, like a very knowledgeable, very wise person. And so I think between those two roles, he's like osmosis all of the knowledge he needs to survive.
Like, given that this is the end of the world and it's like nobody left except zombies, don't we want to get somebody on our team who's very fertile? Like Octomom or something like that, because we have to repopulate the earth.
I'm not thinking that far away.
Like long range. We're looking down all the way down the green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, if you can deal with little kids, you can absolutely deal with zombies. Little kids are worse.
That's true, actually.
Well, I think we got some zombie apocalypse survivor squad rosters coming through. So let's see what people had to say.
So I thought about this for a while, and my first obvious answer was The Rock. It's like, clearly he's smart, he's athletic, he's talented, he knows his stunts, whatever, he can protect himself. But the longer I thought, I was like, surely I have to pick Elon Musk. He has tons of resources, tons of people on his side, and he's already crazy enough to believe it's going to happen anyway.
You're going to plug in your electric car.
So if I had to choose somebody to be on my zombie apocalypse survivor squad, I would definitely choose Bill Murray. While he may not seem like perhaps the most useful choice to pick, he's very funny, so comic relief would be good, and he has some prior zombie experience.
Zombieland
end that well.
To be honest, I want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on my zombie apocalypse squad. He's very big. He can move objects if we ever get stuck. He could probably take a few zombies. And end of the day, I feel like I could outrun him if need be. And he'll probably keep the zombies filled up for a little bit.
Outrun The Rock?
Or are you going to go Jason Momoa?
Oh. He'd be a good one too.
I would want Bernie Sanders on my team. I think he would be able to help us form some sort of government or structure, as well as provide wisdom and insight on how to overcome a mob of heathens. I don't know. I just like Bernie Sanders.
He was the hero this week. Stopping the big fight in the Senate.
Well, I would want Dwayne Johnson in my team if any apocalypse is to happen, because, well, he's built different.
Quite simply.
In The Rock.
So I think that if there were a zombie apocalypse, I would have Dwayne Johnson alongside me. The guy's jacked, super strong, and honestly, you never see him die in movies, so I really do think that he would be the best fit for my zombie apocalypse survival team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have said
Yeah.
spoiler.
You don't want Sean Bean. Sean Bean dies in every movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he could help you for a while. At least until the
Guys.
end of season 1.
It is time to vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like so. And you know, maybe Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the right one, but maybe, maybe you've got an original idea in mind. But certainly vote for one of these folks. Send them to the finals. And who do you agree with? What was it that Quinn said? He was a Dwayne "The Rock," wasn't he?
Yeah, he said he could outrun The Rock.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. You never know. Maybe he's just a slowpoke.
I don't know. I've never time. Didn't he play football in college? He's pretty fast. I hope Quinn's fast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Quinn, congratulations with your fine answer. You and everybody else in the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson camp. Maybe you guys will all be in the same squad. They would make a good squad. That group of 4 plus The Rock.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, then we'll stick with Jack Black to kind of slow him down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think that, as I mentioned, I should have spoiled it when I said this. The Rock, the people who said The Rock today is just a small fraction of the people overall who said The Rock. So that'll be like a 20-person squadron with The Rock.
He's been in enough action movies.
Speaking
he
of the
knows
end of
what to do.
time,
Yes, good point. So congratulations, Quinn, on this well-deserved win. You will now enter into, drumroll please, the winners round. Here we are.
yeah, so this is our chance to pick just one winner who will be our QOTDer of the week. We need a better name for it than that, but this is the vote for the answer that you thought was the best of all the week, of the hundreds of answers that got played throughout the week. Because what's happening is we come out with a question on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, on Monday, every single day, and every day people are answering, and then you can always go here or you can go to the website and vote for these people and send stars and help them make it to the finals. But nevertheless, out of all these hundreds of people, we're going to get just one. You know why just one? We're American. There's got to be a champion.
Yeah, this is America. There can only be one.
So let's do a quick recap.
Let's get into it.
If I could spend a weekend partying in another decade, it would certainly be the 90s. And where? Probably LA. Probably the LA music scene in the 90s. A lot of the alternative rock and rap that came out of that time is some of my favorite music.
I don't know what to say. The 90s.
Look, space and time are connected, right? Scientists, astrophysicists, all of them, they tell us this is true. Space-time, it's a connected thing and you can't really separate them within the universe, right? Which means that if space is a different size, time is at a different scale, which means that at the Big Bang, which supposedly inflated much of the universe in less than a second, in an instant, if space was that small, that means time was either a lot smaller or a lot bigger. I'm not sure which. Maybe it took a really, really long time based on how time was stretched then, or maybe it was even faster than no time at all. Dig that.
What is what is a weird theory that you totally believe in? Not a theory, Jay Gish.
I had a cat named Peter, and this is how he got his name. In college, these two girls came and knocked on the door, and they were like, "Hey, is Peter home?" And I'm like, "Peter doesn't live here." They kept insisting that Peter lived there. That was the address that Peter gave them. Peter went and lied to them, whatever else. It was like this fiasco, but obviously Peter didn't live there. Well, that week, my cat had kittens, and I had to name one of them Peter because obviously Peter lived there. Peter wouldn't lie to them. That's the address he gave them.
London's answering the question, how did your pets get their names? Who thought of that question?
To be honest, I want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on my zombie apocalypse squad. He's very big. He can move objects if we ever get stuck. He could probably take a few zombies. And end of the day, I feel like I could outrun him if need be. And, he'll probably keep the zombies filled up for a little bit.
Answering the question, what celebrity do you want on your zombie apocalypse survival squad? Hubris.
The most embarrassing job that I've ever had is just picking up trash along the highway. And yes, it was a job. No, I wasn't in trouble.
She's from New Jersey, so we're talking about the Turnpike. Maybe 22. Neither of them is good.
Well, during quarantine, we got this one. This is Emma. She was adopted from South Korea. They found her at a meat farm. She was going to be somebody's meal. Probably learning how to care for a dog, taking some courses. I'm still taking courses. And feeding her and then, loving her the right way.
Is there a wrong way? Is there a wrong way? Real James is answering the question, what's something that you learned during lockdown that changed your life? Well, now it's time to vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which of these people do you think is the very best? I don't remember Danielle.
I know. I feel like Danielle snuck in here.
She just totally snuck in. And who got booted out? We're gonna have to call the engineers on this one. Well, guys, go ahead. It's so much easier now than it used to be. You don't have to go to the website. You just type in B. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, I talk too much. So, London pet names. I totally agree. That was a great answer.
Yeah. And I've heard about Peter's kind of out of pocket for giving a fake home address. I've heard about giving fake phone numbers, but sending someone to a stranger's house?
Yeah, Peter's bad. But
Peter's bad news.
But why do you give somebody their address? He's like, stop by. I'll give you that lamp. You don't have to buy that lamp. I don't know.
I don't know. Something's up with Peter.
What a good week it was, though. I feel in the stranger than fiction thematic universe that we've learned a lot about ourselves. I'm telling you, the world's a much weirder place. If you were back partying in the 80s, as some have suggested, it was nowhere as weird as partying in the 20s are. It's lockdown and maybe the internet and friggin' TikTok. I don't even know. But it's just stranger than fiction. So this was an excellent theme. But my question is, does anybody know the theme for next week?
Well, that is a great question. And yes, I do. I have a list of questions right in front of me. So next week was really all about dream scenarios, dream situations. For instance, dream where you want to work around the world, what skills you wish you had, things that we want to aspire to and things that we want to have happen in our world. So it's kind of a nice continuation of truth being stranger than fiction, but what if we want our truth to be as good as fiction?
Interesting.
So the first question for next week comes out at midnight tonight.
Yes.
And then it is so easy to just click on a link and then record. You can either come here, because we have a 24-hour show that's always running at QOTD Games on YouTube. You can click on the link and just go to QOTD.BeOnTheAir.com. Or if you're a smarty pants, go ahead and subscribe and the questions will come to you. We send a question, through the YouTube subscription mechanism or through email, whatever you want, to you every day. So go and get it. Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. You guys, anything that we need to weigh in on? News, facts, anything? No. So we're just going to focus on our QOTD life. By the way, this vote feature is only one of the features that we'll be introducing this week. We're also going to be adding posting, so you can add comments into the video. You can even get your face and your answers on, even if you're not actually, in the mood for reporting. Or pop on over and play Sketch the Cat, our other game, which is running also on QOTD Games. Well, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody who recorded, who voted, and who sent stars and really made this possible. This is all about you being on the air. So thank you so much. And JJ and Phoebe, thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
Everybody who's out there, go ahead and record, subscribe, and get our questions, because we cannot wait to see you on the air.
Yes. Bye, everyone. See you soon.